CS Matinee is a map set in a Los Angeles movie theater. You might remember seeing it back in my Mapcore contest videos, where it got to the semi-finals, but eventually lost out to the competition since at that point many of its areas lacked detailing. Though its creator never stopped updating it, and nowadays it's truly a beauty, combining some very realistic feeling spaces with insane attention to detail and an overall clean polished style that feels right at home among other modern Counter-Strike 2 maps. So today I want to showcase, discuss and maybe glaze it a little bit, while also hopefully providing some small yet meaningful criticism on the aspects that I feel could be improved before its final release. Sounds good? Alright. Let's start with gameplay. I got to run a few games on it with playtesters from my mapping Discord server and was quite pleasantly surprised by how it plays. It at first might look like one of those realistic layouts, where it's basically just a real-life place that just happens to also play decently in Counter-Strike, but actually I feel like a lot more thought went into its design, kind of feeling to me like an alternative take on the agency formula. By that I mean that in my mind, agency is kind of like an evolution of Office, where Office was just basically two lanes that go directly into T-spawn. Agency keeps that main idea with the two lanes, but really fleshes each one of them out, giving you tons and tons more options when approaching them. And Matinee has quite the similar idea, with the big room lane and the side stairs lane, but it moves the hostages from being stuck back in T-spawn much closer to the middle of the map, making Ts worry about fast city rushes and encouraging them to take map control, while still allowing them to camp in the hostage room if they really want to, but making it quite a bit more challenging. These factors made my games on Matinee very enjoyable, maybe even more fun than Agency, but with a small caveat: the abundance of headshot angles. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with them, and most of the headshot cover is positioned in quite a fair way, but basically every main approach cities have gives them a free head glitch position. This probably has been done to buff cities on the otherwise very T-sided hostage game mode, but the problem is that once cities are inside, Ts usually sneak out outside and start using the same OP angles against the cities. And since cities have to push into them and don't have the option to camp inside, this whole headshot dynamic, if not T-sided, becomes just kinda annoying more than anything. I personally would suggest to somehow adjust these angles so they're less punishing for the person inside, and if it proves to be too T-sided after that, I would buff cities in some other way, like maybe giving them faster timings or something like that. But yeah, other than that, overall this map plays really well, and even integrates its setting into the gameplay, by having the projector reveal people peeking out of the projector room, which creates some fun, unique gameplay situations, as well as some cool visuals. And on the topic of visuals, while certain spots, like this back entrance area, feel a tad bit empty, the rest of the map is detailed to an insane degree, very well translating the vibe of the Universal Cinema AMC and Runway Playa Vista into CS, without sacrificing any visibility or gameplay quality in the process, with every single little custom prop feeling right at home and every parody poster making my day just a little better. I especially want to point out the animated popcorn machines, which just emanate the buttery smooth aura, and go straight into the top of my CS2 food tier list, right above the ramen stand on Golden and the chocolate fountain on Alpine. I also want to commend the creator of this map for being quite reserved with the references, because it would be fun to go crazy with parody posters and inside jokes everywhere, but he went for a more subtle but defined, maybe refined style that only pays homage to a few classic movies and Valve games, with only exceptions to the rule being Freaklix Philip, because of course, and Eagle One Studios, which you might remember being the movie production company featured in the E-Flick, thus connecting both of these Hollywood maps in a shared universe, which is just absolute cinema. So yeah, everything's considered, Matinee is just great, and I enjoyed my time with it quite thoroughly. It's a great example of a mapper still being passionate and updating their project even after it didn't do that well in a contest, which I feel more mappers should learn from, including me. It also in general makes me happy to see yet another hostage map, since that game mode truly needs all the love it can get. Hopefully we'll eventually see Alpine, Wild or Matinee in one of the future updates. But actually no, sorry guys, this would never happen, cause this guy left a comment on my shirt about Matinee, so yep, sorry, yeah, it's not happening, yep.